Live from the studio of his parents' basement, the Have You Seen It podcast.
Little tea, little lemon.
Welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight. Sitting across from me is the one and only Cash Kraus. But before we begin, if you guys could please be sure to smash that like button, comment below, and
Love the remix.
Well, yeah,
Love
there's a remix. And subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. So with that said, Cash,
Talk much?
Yeah, not too much. You know, after about 500 episodes of this podcast, you figure the intro would get better.
Oh, you got marbles in your mouth.
I do. I was stuttering a little bit there.
Yeah, a little stutter.
I might have had a stroke on the podcast. You may have seen a mini stroke. But
First ever live recorded mini stroke.
Mini stroke. Many more to come. Guarantee that.
Many more to come.
Many, yes.
Many, yeah.
Cash, what are we reviewing today?
Well, Mason, was one of our most anticipated, if not our most anticipated movie of 2022.
Absolutely.
It's already out. We're only 3 months in. And we maybe have already peaked, which is unfortunate for the year because it can only be downhill from here.
We peaked in our disappointment because this film was an absolute shitstorm.
I messaged you. I said, looks like Texas Chainsaw Massacre ain't the worst movie in 2022 anymore. Of course, we're doing the hunk of shit that is the Batman 2022, the Batman, Batman. Directed by Matt Reeves.
Yeah, terrible director. It's not good. It doesn't do anything good, man.
How long are you going to go with this bit?
We got another 30 seconds.
Okay, everyone. Robert Pattinson, piece of shit guy.
Yeah. Not a great actor either.
I don't like him. Personally, not a fan.
Not a fan. Oh, okay.
Jeffrey Wright. Wow, that guy can't act. He can't act to save his life.
See him in Westworld, he's awful.
Yeah, hate him in everything he does.
Yes.
But, all right, drop this shit.
Okay, yeah, no. Lived up to the hype, man. Seriously, holy shit.
Yeah, we love Matt Reeves.
Yeah,
We're a big fan of Matt Reeves.
And I'm actually a big Robert Pattison fan. I think he's an awesome actor. Never understood the shit that he got for all those years.
Well, I think you understand it. If you've seen the Twilight films, I think you understand it. He was boxed in.
Every actor's got a bad film.
What about 3 films?
Okay, that's true.
Actually, 4, because then they split the third one
into 2 parts.
They always do that with young adult shit.
Yeah, like Harry Potter.
Cash in, baby. Yes, you gotta cash in on that last book. But yeah, people hate him. That's evident. People don't like him because of those Twilight films. But if you have seen, there's people in 2 categories. People have only seen Robert Pattinson in the Twilight films, and people have seen his work after the Twilight films. Because everything he's been in after has been fantastic.
It has.
The Lighthouse has been amazing. Tenet was amazing.
Phenomenal.
The movie that got him this role was a movie he did called Good Time, which was
A24 film.
Which is an awesome film.
That film is awesome.
But that is the film that Matt Reeves saw that decidedly gave him the part for Robert Pattinson. He said he wrote this role specifically for our Pat.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's an awesome actor.
He is.
He's good in everything. He was so good in Lighthouse. It just his role in that was eclipsed by Defoe, which is. You gotta love being in a movie with Defoe, but you gotta know he's gonna steal every scene from you.
He's gonna one-up you every time, 100% of the time.
Nicest guy in the world, but when the film starts to roll, it's you against him.
It is, and it's terrifying.
And he's got to take over. Yeah, but yeah, he's great. But this one has everyone in it. Like I said, it's got John Turturro. I'm a big fucking John Turturro fan. Playing Carmine Falcone, who has much meatier role than I thought he had in this.
Yeah, not only that, but like he's got such a wide range. I mean, from going to like doing like comedy films like Mr. Deeds to like doing a very serious Falcone in this, like he's great, man.
Yeah, he's and playing Jesus in The Big Lebowski. You know, he's done
it all.
He's done it all, but he is one of my favorites. He's so diverse. Yeah. He borderlines on character actor because he's always, like you said, playing he plays some wacky roles.
Yeah.
But this one, he's definitely restrained, but definitely scary in this one. Carmine Falcone, if you don't know Batman, he's like the Scarface of Gotham. You know, he's like the biggest mob boss in Gotham, and he plays it very well. He's intimidating in this.
He is very,
and he does very little to be scary. But great job. Also, Paul Dano.
Oh, as the Riddler, gotta love it. Manic. Goodness gracious. There were some scenes of his, like, especially the cell phone footage, that were making me very uneasy.
I wanted
did a really good job.
God, he's in it in a limited role for sure, but man, I wanted him in it. Even every scene he stole, he is amazing as the Riddler in this. But my favorite
scene of him was the when it was all said and done, and he got caught, and it's him and Batman. Yeah, and he starts like singing the song, and like he's doing it in this weird like mentally unstable type of way where it's just really like off-putting, but he's a great actor, man.
Yeah, that's what I love about this film is it didn't pull the biggest names of today, but it pulled some of the best actors of today for sure. I mean, Paul Dano, he's amazing in everything. I've said that he will get an Oscar at some point. He's so good. He just does really small shit that not a lot of people see, unfortunately. But this is a huge role for him.
It is,
and he crushes it, man. He's naturally has the weirdest energy of any actor probably in the world.
Yeah, he does. He does.
He's very off-putting. The sweetest guy in the world, but it's a little darkness behind him, for sure. Yeah. And that's where he really shines in those roles where he can play this unsuspecting killer like he does in Prisoners.
Yeah,
which he is,
come to find out,
which is like the predecessor. Innocent. Yeah. Kind of. He did kidnap the kid. Not completely innocent.
He did strangle the dog, you know?
Yeah, but if you haven't seen Prisoners, he's fantastic.
Very creepy in that.
Oh, so good. Yeah. But it was like he had to play off that a little bit for this Riddler role, for sure. Because I'm sure everyone's heard by now, but Zodiac Killer inspired with the symbols and everything, but also a serial killer in this, you know? Swapping out the roles definitely for Jim Carrey's more lighthearted, which I love Jim Carrey's Riddler. Batman Forever was my Batman as a kid. Yeah, loved Val Kilmer.
I think for the time period, I think it's great and all, but like I really do enjoy a more serious take on this.
The Riddler,
Batman especially.
The Riddler is such a funny fucking supervillain character. He's a villain that probably should not still be around today because of how stupid his original backstory is with just a guy who loves riddles. Yeah. He's like a B-list character who has somehow survived throughout the generations and is still like one of Batman's biggest enemies.
But I got to say, in this film, they, as you brought up earlier, you know, they did a much more serious take on it, where it was like Zodiac Killer vibes, and realistic though for actually like serial killers and like what you see. What's the show I'm thinking of? True Detective on HBO. That kind of like serial killer where you're like, oh my god, like these are mentally like ill.
Well, he would not be just a guy running around dropping riddles off everywhere. You know, would not make for a very contemplating story at all. And why the fuck would Batman even be hunting down a guy who's only spreading riddles around? But yeah, obviously they've updated it like Christopher Nolan did in the past. But this one is definitely a much more detective story. It's a mystery.
That's what I enjoy.
A neo-noir detective story. Much more than I think any other Batman that we've seen.
For sure.
It's definitely a whodunit kind of almost Sherlock Holmes, which I love because Batman's the world's greatest detective. Yeah. You know, so he says. He lets everyone know.
Well, he gets a lot of privilege with the Gotham PD, so.
Yes, he does, but so many good people in this one. We can go from each and every one. We got to talk about Colin Farrell as well. Farrell.
Unrecognizable. My favorite Penguin. Sorry, Danny DeVito.
Goddamn prosthetics were amazing.
Incredible.
The level of emotion he was able to show behind so much prosthetics blew me away.
And a lot of it was in the eyes, too.
It was the eyes, but still the way he could move his mouth and his muscles and his face and everything. Yeah. Crazy. I guess it's I looked it up because right after I'm like, what the fuck? That's some of the best. That will 100%. If this film doesn't get nominated for anything else, it will get nominated for best makeup because of that. It was incredible.
Well, even the scars and everything on his face looked really good.
But just the little subtle emotions that he can make, like squinting or just dropping or slooping his face or anything, was fucking fantastic.
Well, not just that, but the performance alone. I mean, to do this, hey, take it easy, Batman.
It's a great Brooklyn accent.
It's great, man. Yeah. Like he crushed it, and it's like when you can watch an actor like that, especially take on a role where he looks nothing like himself, and just be blown away with a performance like that.
Yeah.
Like, again, you know, Colin Farrell Paul Dano, like these villains really did step it up and knock these characters out of the park.
Oh yeah, he's definitely one of the more likable penguins for sure. Danny DeVito's penguin was the least likable character.
Yeah,
love Danny because he was He's Danny DeVito's penguin a lot scarier because he's a mutated. He's got flippers. He's biting people's noses off of it throughout the entire thing. He's horrifying because he's literally half penguin. Which is disgusting.
It is gross.
He's a freak, and he should have been. His parents were right to throw him in the sewer when he was a little child.
They made the right move.
Finished the job. You always got to see through to it. Yeah. But Colin Farrell's much more likable, and not to say he's a good guy in any way, but just a more likable penguin character for sure. Yeah. Not going around squealing or walking or making weird things. Yeah. But he just kills it, and I heard, everyone probably knows going into it, but there's going to be a Penguin series on HBO Max.
With Colin Farrell?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. And I wasn't really sure going into it. I'm like, how are they going to do that? But
I heard the Zoe Kravitz cats.
I don't know.
Catwoman.
Right now, I heard that also. But right now I've heard that there's going to be an Arkham Asylum show, which we'll talk about later because there's Arkham Asylum in this one. But... and a Penguin series, I heard. But because they definitely leave the door open for a lot more Penguin. So he's not in it as much as you would think either, right. The Penguin isn't. So there's a lot more, because how the movie ends, spoilers, we're going to get spoilers to anything, but he becomes kind of the new Godfather of Gotham. It's kind of his origin story.
Mm-hmm. It is. It kind of is. Yeah.
And can we talk about that, though? I know we'll jump all over the place, but thank God we did not see the murder of Batman's parents in this one.
We didn't need to see it. I've seen it so many times.
I've seen those fucks get murdered so many goddamn times.
Yeah. More than Uncle Ben.
Yeah, I've seen Uncle Ben get murdered.
Way too many times.
Uncle Ben, I think, still pulls at my heartstrings a little bit.
Well, yeah, you don't give a shit about these billionaires.
Oh my God, I don't care. No, I mean, I'm so... I've been so conditioned to seeing Martha get
blown away. And the pearls fall every time. Yeah, no, I don't need to see it.
I don't care at all, which is good. And in a 3-hour movie, I thought fucking for sure
you were going to see glimpses of that.
No, thank God.
The only time they used, the parents in this was like, when he was running for mayor and stuff, which I didn't have a problem with any of that.
Well, that was a huge part of the story.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we get into later,
Yeah, but they never go into, and they get, the stuff we do learn about his parents is stuff that we haven't learned about from any other Batman that I really enjoyed, like Martha Wayne being kind of a little crazy,
got
a little wackadoo, really not doing anything, but her rich parents being like, we got to put this bitch away for a while. And she goes to Arkham Asylum, which I thought was only for the criminally insane.
No, I guess she went there a few times, had a few stints there.
She must have been pretty bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, all that stuff I enjoyed, and that stuff that's in a lot of other comics, but we haven't seen actually in movies yet, especially with his dad. Well, we got a little bit of Batman Begins, but his dad being, not the white knight that everyone thought he was.
The perfect individual, which I kind of like that. I like that little twist,
Yeah.
Because you relate to that the same way that they did a brilliant job with the villains, especially the Riddler. Now, obviously, you didn't sympathize with him, but you understood where he came from based on all the shit that he went through in his life, right? Of feeling like he was invisible, being an orphan, and now like having this immense amount of power.
Oh, yeah. And the Waynes promising what was the bill that they were passing. It was going to get them all out of there, which I liked. I really thought for sure they were going to try to connect the Riddler even more to Batman. Like I thought maybe he was going to be the son of the journalist or something like that even more. But I was fine with him just being a random little angry orphan. Yeah. Because it just shows that there's a lot of fucking people that, although they tried to do a lot of good, that the Waynes pissed off and left in the fucking dirt for people never to realize or think about again. And one of those kids just happened to grow up and hold a grudge.
You could say that.
Very angry for a long time. But yeah, loved it. The violence. Let's be honest, Batman was killing some folks in this one.
He was. He was trying not to, in all fairness, old Batman, but he made
that opening.
A few.
The opening night, Halloween, because was inspired by the Long Halloween, a couple other ones, but it opens up on Halloween. and some punk ass kids. I love this opening though, where at first
the shadows.
Because at first it's all about fear. That's what he wants to do. It's because this is a young Batman as well.
Yes.
This Batman does not know at all how to save Gotham.
No.
He's going around.
He doesn't even know if it's worth it. He says that in the beginning.
Well, at this point, he's literally like, I don't think beating the shit out of 14-year-old kids for selling weed is doing it anymore. It's not like
I got to up my game somehow, some way.
I think I got to start fighting bigger criminals in this one. But I love that. I love that he had no idea what to do in this one, really. And he was kind of giving up only after 2 years. And he had given up completely on being Bruce Wayne at this point. He's only the Batman in this one. He never makes appearances at all.
No, he's a recluse.
Even when he goes outside, even in the day, he goes covered up, in the motorcycle gear and whatnot. And so it opens up, and it's like, so it's 2 years around there. They've already got the bat signal. It's more than just like a signal of telling him to come out, but it's a signal to put fear in everyone's. And
I love that. I love that opening scene because, like, you see all these petty crimes, and then they see the bat signal.
And then they look in the shadows. It's really well shot.
Super well shot.
And he's actually not even there.
No.
But it's just the fear that he's putting in.
The fear and the thought that he could be there.
I love that, too, because at first, especially seeing him the first time, you have no idea when he's going to pop out and start beating these kids to death. But fortunately, a couple guys get away, but the train station kids,
not so lucky. Well, I mean,
the first guy, you never want to be the first guy to meet up with Batman.
No, that guy had a lot of balls, too. Pulled out a bat like he was going to take him on, no problem.
And some brutal, Batman gets in a couple extra swings on the ground.
He does.
While he's out.
He was a little frustrated that night.
Yeah, that night in particular. Yeah. Pretty upset. But yeah, I love that opening, man. It just showed the brutality, like, oh, this is a Batman not to fuck around with. Like, he's not only does he hate, I mean, he loves justice, but this Batman is angry. He's brooding. He's like a teenager. He's really out there to not only help the city, but take out some frustrations.
It's his therapy.
That's 100% it. Yeah. It's his therapy. He loves beating people to the brink, which... Let's be honest. Who doesn't? Okay.
I know. Yeah. And he could justify it by saying it's vengeance. Yeah. I am vengeance.
What were those people on the train doing? Just messing with that guy?
Yeah, I think they were. It was an initiation because the guy only had half of a Joker face or whatever.
But is that really a crime? To be paralyzed from the waist down at this point?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it might be an overreach, a little bit of vigilante justice, but it is
He's
what
vengeance.
It is.
Yep. He is vengeance, and he let that guy know. And once he wakes up after 6 months from his coma, I'm sure it was.
I'm sure he'll never commit crime again. It's like it's not worth this price tag.
Once he learns to walk again through years of physical
therapy, it'll be very well planted into his brain not to do this again.
Oh, but incredible opening. Yeah, wasn't sure I was going to open,
and the theme song too.
Love the theme, the score, the cinematography was amazing. Yeah. Everything came together. The costume design, everyone looks so fucking cool in this. Even Batman during the day, he had this cool kind of, I don't know, again, like brooding. I always heard that he was heavily inspired by Kurt Cobain. This
well, they had a
Batman.
Nirvana song.
They
as
did,
well.
in that. But Matt Reeves said when he was writing this that he inspired, because Kurt Cobain, he loved music, but he hated the stardom, right?
Hated it,
and
I think that's why,
Oh yeah, and this Batman loves Batman, but he hates being Bruce Wayne. Hates it. That's different from Christopher Nolan's Batman, where he was a playboy.
Of course, he was into it.
Yeah, and he looked good during the day, although he didn't like it. He really played the part. This Batman, not even faking.
No.
People haven't seen him in months.
When anytime he leaves the house, everyone's like, Bruce?
Yeah, this fucking guy's
I
still
thought
alive.
you were dead.
I know, yeah.
I haven't seen you in years.
Yeah, and he's always wearing glasses. Anyways, it looks very fucking cool. Everyone looks cool in this. Zoe Kravitz looks cool.
Batmobile was fucking awesome.
I know. I can't believe people were uncertain about that.
I didn't. The first time I saw it on the first trailer, I was like, sign me up for this.
And they use it. They don't overuse it. It's something that's kind of teased early on, and then it's like it's only brought out when it's like, okay, People gotta learn. I gotta teach people a lesson, and then you bring out. You barely ever see it, but once it comes out, the new Batmobile, it fucking wrecks, dude.
It really
so
does.
Awesome.
In the cinematography for the way that they shot that chase scene with Penguin was phenomenal.
So much longer.
So much fun.
It was so much longer than I thought too.
Yeah.
Because the tease, I thought, man, maybe that's all we're gonna see throughout the movie too, is what we saw in the trailer of him jumping through the flames. It lasts forever. It's a whole freeway chase.
That is.
It's fucking
and pretty intense
awesome. Hell yeah, the Penguin is wrecking 18-wheelers. Big pile-ups.
too. Few people died.
I gotta say, Batman might not have been helping that situation.
No, he wasn't. Reckless endangerment.
Yeah, ramming other cars.
Yeah, chum that up too. But
he's learning.
Yeah,
in
he
this
is.
one.
He
He's
is.
learning.
But the car chase scenes were awesome. I got to talk about this though. I loved the set design of the the Wayne mansion.
Well, it's not the Wayne Manor. It's inside the city, so it's like the Gotham. So it's like the Wayne Tower that he lives
Wayne
there, so
Tower. Yeah. But like whatever that was, like I really enjoyed that, and I love the Batcave.
Yeah.
With all the bats and stuff, dude. It just looked so cool, and it was just completely different. You know, to go back to like Christian Bale and the Dark Knight trilogy, that Batcave was like high tech,
Very
super
clean.
cool. Yeah,
Very
this one
pristine.
felt very gothic.
Well, like I said, it added to the character too. That it's like this. He was living in this kind of like dilapidated tower it's like kind of falling apart at this point because he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care about anything besides being Batman at this point.
Yeah.
And he hardly even cares about Alfred. Brutal in this one.
You know, I
You
think
ain't my
after
fucking dad, Alfred.
I think after Alfred took the explosion, that C4 for him, though, he started lightening up a little bit.
Yeah, but like I said, I love that they really went with a character dynamic and stuck with it. You know, he's like this throughout the entire film. You know, you love it or hate it. He's like that throughout the entire film, you know. And I get it's a choice, and I respect the choice to be made.
Go back real quick to the parents, and instead of showing the parents die again, what I really enjoyed that they did, and there was a scene, you know, obviously the mayor gets murdered by the Riddler, right?
Great scene.
And then the child, I love this because they go, Batman looks down, he sees the footprint, it's a footprint of a child's shoe, and he goes, yeah, he found him. Batman walks out, and he looks at the boy, and the boy looks at him, but he looks at him for a long time, even on film. And like you got everything emotionally that you needed from that look.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously Batman sympathizes with the boy because that's how he felt when his parents were murdered, you know?
Yeah.
And I love that. That's all you needed. That's all you needed. You didn't have to show the death. You didn't have to do a flashback. Just in that 10-second moment of him just giving them the look.
Everyone knows. Everyone in the world knows how Batman became Batman.
Yeah.
There's no one going into this film being like, how does someone get from here to there?
I'm missing context. I don't know what's going on with the story.
What's going on? Yeah. No one. So, like you said, it's just smart filmmaking too. And at 3 hours long, you can't push this thing any longer than it needs to be.
And there was something, I actually think it was one of his greatest scenes in the film, no joke. Because, like, if you look at him and just the way he looks at that boy, Robert Pattison, and having the mask on and everything, like, he really showed a lot of, like, intensity in that 5 to 10 seconds that he was looking at that boy. So
he's good in it. He's good throughout the entire thing for sure. But yeah, there's some great acting for sure by our Pat. But I love that opening or that first murder scene though of Paul Dano when he's just in the shadows,
standing there. Yeah,
he's breathing super hard, and it is very. I mean, again, it's been said, but it is very Zodiac, especially when he starts murdering him, then he starts breathing very, very hard. Like he's very into it. He's enjoying
the tape thing.
Yeah. He's enjoying it a ton.
I would say way too much.
But those calls too, if you ever have listened to the Zodiac where he calls the police to fuck with them, the calls are so horrifying. They're so fucking
not quite as horrifying as Black Christmas, but pretty close.
That's another one that was definitely inspired by the Zodiac for sure too. And a time that came out not long after the Zodiac.
Yes, I know.
The Zodiac would have been still rocking and rolling.
It was fresh. He's like, you know what? I guarantee that was inspired by me.
Yeah, but yeah, man, they nailed that. The whole like Zodiac / Hannibal Lecter kind of feel for sure. But very smart Riddler, a character that has been stewing about his plan for a very long time, and it felt like that too. It didn't feel like some stupid Hollywood film mystery. It felt like an actual like you had to put some thought into to figure this out. I love the whole that he used a carpet tool throughout the entire fucking thing to murder everyone. And it ended up actually coming into play instead of just being a cool looking tool. It actually ended up coming into play. And at one point they're like, they think the Riddler fucked up with something with the whole El Bato thing.
Yeah.
El Rato.
El Rato, yes.
The whole time they're like, he just made a mistake or whatever. But the entire film, even if you go back, he never fucking makes a mistake about anything.
He's very meticulous.
Everything is meant to be exactly how it is. Yeah. And it just shows you the kind of weird OCD kind of unique character that the Riddler is.
And that's the thing, too. He was so well fleshed out, and everything had a purpose. There was no, like, wasted time, wasted space, or nothing that was too unbelievable where you're like, oh, come on, this is very comic booky. It was definitely grounded. Yeah,
and it, like Avery said, the whole thing felt very, very thought out, and it even mirrored some modern day, some just everyday or problems that we've had recently, especially with like the whole people like through social media like following him or whatever. Like it mirrored I know I was shocked by that.
And then that's a great point that you make, because like you look at vengeance, right?
Yeah.
Batman's interpretation of vengeance and Riddler's interpretation of vengeance, and how these sect, like, you can take things and have it, be quote unquote good, but then you have these groups, these fringe groups that take this idea and just go off the deep end and go off the crazy path. So it was very meta for what we're going through now in this country, because it is a reality, and that's what people do.
And the whole thing at the end with it being like the political rally or whatever, and just this fringe group of Riddler henchmen, which is kind of cool because
it was cool and unexpected.
In any comic book movie, you're like, how does the Riddler get henchmen? Like, how the fuck is anyone following this guy? Although genius, he is like the nerdiest and weakest of the. He's very smart, but it was very convincing and very well done in this.
It was. I got it. Hats off. And that's the thing, too, that I got to give a lot of credit to Matt Reeves, is it didn't feel like one way or the other, like, too preachy during it. It, like, everything lined up really well with the actual character.
Oh,
and how smart the Riddler was. And it made sense for the film. And
that's
where I didn't have a problem with it at all.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I say it mimics, like, what's going on now, but it was never, like January 6th. Like, this is like... Like never like anything like that or anything. I mean, it was so well written. Like you said, I was kind of shocked that they even had similarities between it, but it was good writing, man.
It was
very meta, man. I was shocked by that. And for the Riddler character, like we said, even Jim Carrey's Riddler, he was always like the butt of a joke of everything. He was always this one. You're not ever laughing at the Riddler.
No.
He's like that. You brought it up briefly, but the phone scene, I guess that scene took all day to shoot. They shot it like 100 and some times because it was literally just Matt Reeves and Paul Dano in a room with a phone, and they were shooting it. And Paul Dano said he just kept wanting to redo it because he came at it from like a million different angles. Jeez. He's like, it'd be funny if my head just popped out, and that's the one that they ended up using because the phone scene he goes, hello. But I guess they just kept refilming that and letting him go wild with it. Yeah.
Well, that was a super intense scene too, because like at that point in time, the DA is obviously caught. Riddler catches him, and I thought he initially killed him in the car, and he didn't, which was a good twist. And then he shows up at the funeral, crashes the car, and he gives him 2 minutes to complete 3 riddles.
Yes.
And all of them deal with his corruption, right? And then the third one, he goes, I'm a dead man. I got to protect my family. And explosion. It's wild that he didn't want to even say a name to save his own life,
that's how we know how bad that the actual
Falcone is.
Which we should have, but you don't know at all that Falcone. But you should have. I didn't even realize once he said that, like, what's the one person you really got to be scared of in this city? Yeah. It's got to be Falcone, right?
I had no idea.
No clue.
No idea at that point. And I was like, what is going on?
I'm pretty good at guessing these things. Because again, they're never like,
super hard,
too complicated, because you can't make it too complicated for an audience. The simple audience, you gotta keep it. But I was really I really didn't even know, even up till when Falcone was like trying to convince that it was the other guy.
Yeah.
I still didn't even realize it was Falcone. I really did think it was the other guy.
Well, and kind of the twist too with the whole Penguin as well, and like Batman and Gordon thinking that Penguin was the rat.
Yeah,
and they just completely misinterpreted that. And the Riddler,
a lot of red herrings in this, but
you're not seeing the bigger picture.
Yeah, exactly. Well written,
very well written.
Love the Penguin. I love that the Penguin called Batman Vengeance.
Yeah.
Vengeance.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing too, Cash. This film is damn near 3 hours, but the pacing, perfect. I never at one time in a 3 hour film, which is really hard to do, and you and I do Indian cinema reviews that are 3 hours, and some of those films were like, oh, geez, we could have cut out 40 minutes. I felt like the pacing of this throughout was just awesome. There were dialogue scenes and story development, and boom, action.
Yeah.
But it wasn't over the top action. It wasn't over the top where it was just, stale going through it the whole time. I was just really, really impressed with all of it.
Yeah, 3 hours, that's definitely long, even for a superhero film, for sure. Yep. That's definitely, it's the third longest superhero film with Zack Snyder's Justice League, the newest one, and Endgame being the longest. But yeah, the pacing, like you said, it was really, really well done. It definitely felt like you were seeing probably the director's cut of a film, which is fine. That's usually the best version of a film is the director's cut, but it's usually not the one that you get in theaters, so I'm fine with that. As long as you're giving directors more freedom, I'm 100% okay with that.
I held my pee the entire time.
Did you?
I couldn't. I could not do it.
I forced myself to pee at the start, and I still peed in the middle of it. Yeah,
I couldn't. I had to pee so bad, but I was like, dude, I don't want to miss a second.
And I tried to do it where it was like in between us, like where I knew it would be like one of those lulls, where it'd be, and I still ended up fucking. I knew I missed something. Because the scene I came back to was right when I came back, they were rolling up on the Penguin right before the car chase.
Oh yeah, and the money scene where they find Annika in the back. Yeah,
exactly. And
R.I.P. Annika.
And the Penguin comes out and he starts spraying them with
You trying to take my money, Batman?
Let me tell they did. I already talked about it, but they made the Penguin a badass in this fucking film.
I loved it, yeah.
When he comes in and he's the Batman, but the Penguin is still doing drug deals and shit, to have the fucking balls it showed you immediately what kind of character the Penguin is.
Absolutely.
Like, he was Falcone's right-hand man for a reason, but when he comes in and the Batman's still there and he's still doling out money and drugs and shit.
Wild. He's got some balls. Even when Batman slammed him up against the glass too.
Yeah.
He goes, "Hey, get your hands off me! You know who you're dealing with here." Who you think?
God damn! I can't get over those prosthetics.
It's great, man.
And I still can't get over that car chase scene of the scene it doesn't show in the trailer is he flips the car. The car flips like 80 times.
Bro, that was
and he's going like slow motion in the car, and then it lands hard.
Yeah,
and does not give him a waddle.
No, it doesn't.
But I was half and half because they tie him up and they leave him, and then he kind of waddles.
Yeah,
over
which was funny. Yeah, he's like, "You guys gonna untie me when you leave me here, you assholes?"
And he kind of waddles at that, which I think had to be a little bit of a nod.
It was a nod. Okay. It was definitely a nod for sure. But again, in a very serious film like that, like those subtle things are really funny, but they don't take away from the overall story.
No,
or take you out of it as far as the context. It was more just funny than anything. I got a question for you, Cash. This film, and it's Sunday right now when we're recording this, so we have yet to finish today. And let me tell you, the 11:30 showing, packed.
That's good, yeah.
Packed,
that's
man,
pretty
on
early,
a Sunday morning, which is wild. But as it sits right now, $250 million at the box office
worldwide
already.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you foresee this film hitting $1 billion by the end of its run? I'm rooting for it.
I know it's really tough because before Spider-Man, I wasn't sure if any film would hit $1 billion again, ever. And I don't know. This one is breaking all kinds of records. So if I have to think, I think it will. I think it will hit that $1 billion mark.
I think it will.
I mean, it's got to really, and like you said,
and word of mouth
too. And what's coming out the next few weeks, it's nothing really big that's going to knock this off. I think this film will be number one for the next 2 to 3 weeks for sure. But
and I am going to go see this again.
Definitely,
and I'm taking Ken Dog.
Yeah, well, definitely.
Seriously,
my dad would love this film. My dad loves superhero films.
My dad hates superhero films, but I go, Dad, it's different. This one's different. This one's
well, my
really
dad
good.
loved the Dark Knight trilogy.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because those are
I never
grounded.
showed Ken those, but
yeah, I think he liked if he likes that, he'd like these too.
Yeah.
But well, we've talked a lot about it. Should we talk about the very end?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's do it.
Should we talk about the very end?
How do you say his last name? It's Barry Kogan.
Kogan, I believe. Yeah. Which was I swear to God, I had no fucking clue that he was in this.
No, you called it a couple months ago.
I had no fucking clue, but I guess it was rumored that he had a role in this film. I had no idea, but I guess it was rumored that he had a role in this film, but it wasn't the Joker. They thought that he was going to play... Because what they did is they filmed scenes of him in scenes that aren't in the movie.
Really?
To throw people off. They filmed a scene of him as a cop at some point. Yeah, just to throw people off. But I had no idea. But the end, because it's a Batman movie and they have to...
Introduce the next villain.
Well, that's interesting also. So the last scene, if you haven't, it's not an after credit scene.
No,
it's a scene that was supposed to be in the movie. That's... Because Matt Reeves came out today. This story dropped today. But he came out and he said that does not... So the very last scene is the Penguin gets caught, obviously. He goes to Arkham Asylum.
Not Penguin, Riddler.
Riddler, sorry. Yeah. Riddler gets caught. Penguin does not get caught.
No, he doesn't. If anything, he's moving up in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The last scene of it is him looking over the city like, shit, it's mine now.
It's mine, yeah.
So the Riddler gets caught. He's a frail man at this point.
He is. He's very emotionally charged.
Like the Riddler is at any time. He's always very distraught after he gets caught. But, of course, his cellmate is a unknown character, only credited as Arkham Prisoner. But it is Barry Kogan, and it's him playing the Joker.
Yeah.
Very obviously playing the Joker. But Matt Reeves came out today saying he's saying it right now that does not mean at all that he will be the next villain in the next Batman.
Too bad.
He's saying
You've already introduced him.
He's saying that it was set up that he was supposed to be introduced no matter what, and there was another scene that they eventually cut out that the Joker was going to be in that they ended up cutting because I guess test audience didn't like it. But it was a scene that showed that the Batman and the Joker have already battled at this point, and he put him into the Arkham Asylum. Yeah, But Matt Reeves said, hey, that does not mean... He said it's not an after-credit scene, and it's not at all setting up the next Batman. That's what he's coming out and saying. I know everyone, of course, wants to believe. Of course you're going to say that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the Joker's the biggest character with Batman, so you don't want to give... You don't want to give it out right now, 2-3 years before the next film.
But you also don't want to be like... you do Batman, you don't have to do a Joker. And that's definitely...
But don't you love it, though? Isn't it the character that never gets old if done the right way? Like, I mean, let's take out Jared Leto, okay?
There's a lot of other Batman villains I think you could do before you can do the Joker, for sure.
Yeah,
I think, though, if they're going to do this Arkham Asylum show, maybe Barry Kogan and his Joker has some kind of role in that.
Well, you have to have the Joker for that. For Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, and maybe that...
In some capacity.
Maybe that will be setting up, like, that whole show could be 8 episodes of him breaking out of Arkham.
I mean, not origin story, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Origin story for the...
You'll never get an origin story of Joker, because he's everyone.
Yes.
I was almost hoping, though, that this... I had no idea, but I was almost hoping that this Batman would have been set in the 90s. So they could have left open the possibility of this Batman meeting up with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
That would have been cool.
Because that's set in the 70s, the late 70s.
Yep.
So he would have been older, of course, but you could have done a film with an older Joker meeting up with a younger Batman in like the mid to late 90s.
And 90s would have been cool too. A 90s
Well, that's kind of what I thought when it, with the muscle car and the Nirvana thing and everything. So I thought, why the fuck not? But immediately you get there's flat screens. And cell phones
pretty apparent.
Cell phones play a huge role in this film as well. So maybe you couldn't do it. But I was hoping that maybe it would have been set in the 90s, but there's no possibility.
No chance now.
Yeah. Well, which is fine, absolutely fine, me too, because I love that Joker film, and it's 100%. Not everything needs to be connected.
No, it doesn't. But there are rumors that they may make a second Joker film. Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh yeah. I could definitely see that happen.
I would love it.
But
I'd like to continue that story.
Robert Pattinson, he is signed up for 3 films, so we are, no matter what, getting a trilogy. It's very early, unknown at all what the second one will be.
Will Matt Reeves direct 2 and 3?
I believe he signed up for all of them, yeah. Sweet. Which is amazing because he's so good at doing a trilogy and ending strong that it actually gives me a lot of confidence. Yeah. Because he's, like you said, what he did with Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Oh, God. He's good.
He is.
Funny enough, him and Tim Burton, only 2 directors that have done Planet of the Apes and Batman.
That's interesting. I had no idea on that. Really? Okay.
Yeah. Tim Burton has done a horrible Planet of the Apes, the one with Mark Wahlberg, but he's done 2 good Batman films. But where does this rank among the Batman films with you, Mason?
That's actually so hard. Legitimately might be my favorite Batman.
Wow.
I'm actually dead serious.
You think it's better than the Dark Knight?
So we're talking Heath Ledger's Joker, right? That has always been my favorite Batman. Yeah. It's not the Bane one for me. Bane one's great. The trilogy's great. Don't get it twisted. But the one with Heath Ledger was my favorite. That's Dark Knight Rises.
Just Dark Knight.
It's just Dark Knight. Okay, so that one.
Dark Knight Rises is
Bane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Dark Knight. But yeah, actually, honestly, I'm going to have to go with this one. I fucking loved it. I love the muscle car. I love the Bat Cave was so cool. I like this dark emo Batman, young Batman who's just very mad at the world.
Yeah, it's hard to say when there's always a bias of coming right off a movie.
I know. And I just watched it.
That's my favorite
2
movie.
hours ago.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'd be like, that's the best movie of all time. Yeah. But so it takes some time. But these are very good. And I know I'm the one that posed the question, but I'll answer it anyways. I think I still like Heath Ledger's. That Batman is like the combination of a Batman and like Heat, a heist movie. Mm-hmm. It's so well done.
Yeah.
But yeah, and although Paul Dano is fucking fantastic, I still don't think there's a role that matches Heath Ledger's. I mean, he won an Oscar for it.
Right, of course.
Which,
and a
superhero
for
a grain of salt. Yeah, I know, but post-mortem also.
Right.
I don't know if that helps or not. I know it does help.
It does help. Let's not kid ourselves here.
But still,
it does help.
It was the best role of that year. I mean, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So you can't really argue it, but I think that one still ranks higher, but not to say that there won't be one in this trilogy that will eventually take that place. Don't forget, this is the first Batman film of a trilogy.
This trilogy, yeah.
Which is usually the weaker of the 3. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you go by Batman Begins and whatnot. So, but a strong first outing for sure.
Very strong. I was very happy with this film.
Yeah, I think anyone doubting this film and watched it, learn not to doubt.
Yeah, I would really like to know what their estimates are for getting out the sequel to this. What do you think? Probably 2-3 years from now? 2024, 25?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, especially when you get everyone in this film too does so much. Like Jeffrey Wright, what's he been in 5 films this year?
Yeah,
or 2021. I feel like he did. He's on so many TV shows, and Robert Pattinson, he does so many small films too that it's gonna be hard to get all these people back together. And not like you have to get all of them. You're not gonna get John Turturro back. Spoiler alert, unfortunately.
Yeah. Ruin the whole film for everyone. Yeah. Well, you bring the rats to light, you know?
El Rato. Yeah, you're not going to get him back, but I don't even know if Zoe Kravitz is going to come back.
Well, the rumors are the whole Catwoman thing, but I think she'll come back. She's got to enjoy playing this role.
I mean, maybe it's one and done for that whole dynamic, story, but you don't need her back, but I'm interested. I hope they keep packing in the villains for each one. Like, there's never just one villain. I hope they always stick with, like, the 3 to 4.
Yeah. It's fun.
Hell yeah.
I sure as hell enjoy it.
Yeah, I loved it.
Alrighty. Well, that is our review for The Batman. If you guys like what you've seen here, please be sure to smash that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. Thank you so much for watching and listening. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Kraus, and until next time.
Bye.